So lately, our habits and routines have been slipping a little bit. At night, we're taking our phones with us into the bedroom and using screens right up until we go to sleep, and in the morning, we're kind of starting our day by checking email, checking social media, and just generally not sticking to our typical morning routine. And in the process of getting back on track, we asked ourselves the question, what makes the perfect morning routine? And in answering that question, there's no better person to turn to than Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology
at Stanford School of Medicine.
He's been sharing actionable, science-backed tips that anyone can use to improve their lives, and he's been taking the internet by storm with his YouTube channel amassing 1.75 million subscribers in just under 2 years. So today, we're going to share with you exactly what makes the perfect morning routine. But first, Dr. Huberman does say that the perfect morning routine starts the night before, so we have a couple things we need to do tonight first. First off, we're going to cool down our home with air conditioning because our body's core temperature actually wants to drop in preparation for sleep. We're not going to consume anything with caffeine in it because we want to wind down both mentally and physically to get ready for sleep. We're also going to put away all of our screens and just read some books and hang out, which means that we're also going to be putting away the camera, so we'll catch up with you guys in the morning. I slept pretty good. My hair's not coming down. I had that thing where I woke up just before the alarm went off, which is always a nice feeling. Like when you wake up like a minute or two right before your alarm goes off, that's like the best.
I definitely fall asleep faster when I don't look at screens about at least an hour before I go to bed. I don't know about you.
No, that's facts. It took me a little while to fall asleep still, but you fell asleep within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, pretty good sleep. Feel pretty recharged and good, even though it's a bit gloomy, but I'm going to go make some electrolytes, and you want to go through the thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we've watched a bunch of Andrew Huberman videos, and we think we figured out his ideal recipe for a morning routine. And that's one that includes the following.
Getting sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning is absolutely vital. Don't wear sunglasses to do it. Takes about 10 minutes or so. I hydrate. I drink water. I also put a little bit of sea salt in the water. I am a fan of water with element. I do everything I can to not do email, not do social media. I have this obsession with trying to do one cognitively hard thing a day. Then I do caffeine about 90 to 120 minutes after waking. So a practice that's very useful to people is to delay the intake of caffeine by 60 to 90 minutes after waking. I generally will then do some sort of physical workout. I myself tend to do my deliberate cold exposure early in the day, maybe not first thing in the morning, but mid-morning.
We're going to be adapting these elements of the perfect morning routine in a way that suits us and also allows us to get everything done within about an hour and a half before we have to get to work.
Salt.
Thank you.
You want to take these outside and we can hang out, get some sun when we drink?
Yeah, sure.
You're walking like an old person.
I'm putting my keys in my back pocket.
We're in a little park near our home with some strange structures. It's like a little waterfall down there, which may be audible, not sure. How you feeling?
It's hot and humid.
That's Hong Kong.
So, fun fact, it might seem like it's really pointless to get outside on a day like today because it's overcast and kind of gloomy, but actually, even on days like this, it makes a lot of sense to get outside. You might have to be outside for just a little bit longer to get the same kind of sun exposure that you'd be getting on a sunny day, for example. But yeah, it definitely still helps. A lot more light out here than there is at home. Also, if you happen to live in a place where you don't get a lot of natural light, then artificial lighting can help. I seriously experienced this myself firsthand when I was living in the UK, and it got dark at like 4 p.m. I felt super sad all the time and kind of depressed, and apparently it's a thing, seasonal affective disorder. So I bought a lamp, put it on my desk, and had that thing beam light into me first thing in the morning, and it actually did help a little bit.
So we're back from a walk, finished my water with electrolytes. If you're wondering why we're having this first thing, it's because our bodies actually lose a lot of water while we sleep, so it's important to hydrate first thing after waking up. Normally, we don't always have electrolytes with our water first thing, but we definitely always hydrate. As for coffee, we're already in the habit of not having any caffeine within the first hour to hour and a half after waking up. We get a lot of questions from you guys about why we do this, so we're gonna talk about that today, but we're gonna go work out first.
All right, so we just got back from the gym. We don't normally have coffee before we go to the gym, even though Dr. Huberman says that it's totally okay to do so and that he actually does so.
Now, I like to drink caffeine before I train or during training. I'm weak like that.
And the reason for that is just because we like to get our workout in first thing in the morning because it helps us kind of naturally wake up a little bit more, and we like to set up the rest of our day by having our workout done first thing in the morning. By actively seeking things that are painful, you actually end up feeling a lot better afterwards, which is the effect that we're going for with the cold shower. I'm going in. Man, not gonna lie, I already feel like $1 million. Now it's your turn.
I don't do this nearly as much as Lloyd, so I do not know how I'm gonna feel afterwards.
You enjoying that? Em hates getting water in her face. How do you feel?
Good. I mean, it's always painful while doing it, but it always feels good afterwards, so that's why we do it.
And now we get to the best part of our day. And to understand why Andrew Huberman talks about getting coffee 1 to 2 hours after you've woken up, it does take an understanding of a couple of chemical compounds.
The reason I delay caffeine is because one of the factors that induces a sense of sleepiness is the buildup of adenosine. The buildup of adenosine accumulates the longer we are awake. So when I wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, your adenosine levels are likely to be very low. Caffeine is an adenosine blocker. It sort of parks in the receptor that adenosine normally would park at and prevents adenosine from acting on that receptor. That's why you feel more alert, because it's essentially blocking the effect of this sleepiness factor that we all create called adenosine. But if you wake up in the morning and you're sleepy, that means you still have a buildup of adenosine in your system. Let's say you immediately reach for caffeine. Great. You suppress the action of that adenosine and you will be more alert. And guess what happens? Then the caffeine wears off and the adenosine binds to the receptors with greater affinity and you have your afternoon crash.
So this point's a little bit less scientific and a bit more anecdotal, but we definitely found that when we pushed our caffeine intake to an hour or two after we woke up, we definitely found that we were less dependent on caffeine first thing in the morning to feel alert and awake. And we also definitely felt like we had less bad of a caffeine crash sometime in the afternoon after our caffeine wore out. And now I'm gonna get back to making this coffee because I am super ready for my caffeine hit.
And now that we've got our coffee, we're gonna get to work.
Cheers.
Cheers. So finally, we're at the last part of our morning routine, which is doing something cognitively challenging, meaning something mentally challenging. For us, this is just getting to work, which is why we put it at the end of our morning routine. While it's not always possible, if we can, we prefer to try to do more mentally challenging work earlier on in the day when we're still more mentally fresh and have more energy. So we're both just going to get started, and we'll catch up with you guys in a few hours.
Okay, so takeaways. I definitely feel pretty good. I mean, I think on a day like today when it's kind of gloomy, normally my mood isn't great and I kind of feel low energy, but I feel pretty good today.
Yeah, usually by late afternoon when it's gray outside, I will get a bit sleepy. But I think what has made the biggest difference is getting sunlight first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Plus that cold shower.
Yeah. Is this super realistic to do every single day? Maybe not. But at the same time, I do think it's possible to condense this a little bit and get the most important things in, which for me also include definitely getting a bit of sun.
I mean, there's quite a lot of elements of this morning routine, which the two of us already do. It's just quite rare that we do it all in one morning.
Yeah.
One thing I think the two of us will definitely be keeping in our routine is getting sunlight first thing, even if we don't have time to work out. or go for a long walk. I mean, Dr. Huberman says just going outside for like 10 minutes or sitting on your balcony if you have one already makes a really big difference.
And for a more condensed version, we did make a video a while back about how to get out of a rut, and that kind of started with just easy, simple things like getting a bit of movement in the morning and getting some sun, so we'll link to that video up above. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, consider subscribing, and let us know in the comments which part of this morning routine you're most excited to try or which parts you already do.
And we'll see you guys next week.